Hello everyone, this is Red Robot, and today's awesome strategy was suggested by Alex. He suggests to use heavy with the Dalokohs Bar and the quick fix, and that's right, the extra overheal on the bar stacks with the quick fix, reducing one of its biggest weaknesses, not being able to give a full overheal. As you can see, we've got all the advantages of the quick fix's faster healing with 425 overheal, which is just incredible. Usually on this channel we showcase some of the more underpowered weapons being used in interesting and unexpected ways, but as Alex says, this definitely is not a terrible tactic. This is totally effective and really strong. As always though, no strategy is without its weaknesses, and we're about to see two of them right up here, running out of ammo and being taken out by assassination classes. Yeah, throughout this gameplay, the Brass Beast has this weird kind of tunnel vision effect on you. I don't know if you've noticed it. It's a really strong weapon, but when you're revved up in a fight with another heavy, you do not want to look away, and as you can see there, my spidey senses tingled. I turned around and managed to take out the spy just in time, but I promise you, we got taken out a lot by spies and snipers. Mostly spies, because the servers we were on just seemed to be completely full of them, all spamming the dead ringer. Really cannot wait for that change coming up in the update, well, the proposed change. Hopefully it goes through. There's another little synergy between these weapons that I haven't mentioned yet. You see, the Brass Piece gives you resistance to damage, on damage that would reduce your health to below half your max health, or when you're below your max health. It's really confusing, but basically, if damage would put you below half, or you already are half, it's all reduced by 20%, which is just amazing. But when you increase your max health with the Dalokohs Bar, obviously your 50% health mark increases, so you have 175 health to play around with the damage resistance with, plus the fact that you're being healed up really quickly with a quick fix, and you have all the overheal potential. Man, it's just amazing. If you want a visual representation of the number of spies we were dealing with, then just watch the next little part of this clip. You see, I'm just minding my own business. I turn around. Oh, there's one. Bump into him. Better check him. Oh, don't worry. Another one was already behind me. Like, God, two of them coming at me at once. How do you deal with that? I mentioned that spies and ammo were a big weakness, and here comes the third, sentry guns. Now, because the Brass Beast slows you down so much, it's really hard to push up against sentries, especially multiples. We were getting stalled a ton against a bunch of sentries, and I have clips of this happening later on. One thing that you might not know about is that sentry guns actually have an inbuilt sort of minigun damage resistance that you really need to overcome, and the Brass Beast, yeah, the damage does help, but it's nowhere near as effective as something like a soldier or a demo man. I gotta say though, until recently, the Brass Beast was sort of a weapon that I never really got. Like, I always really hated how slow it made me, how vulnerable I was when I was using it, but I've come to kind of love and embrace that slowness, and I love just dropping down like there, or sneaking up on a bunch of people, and just mowing them all down. It's just so satisfying to do. And I mean that when I have a pocket medic, and when I don't. I mean, playing the Brass Beast without a pocket medic is a totally different thing, and especially what we're doing right now with the quick fix and the Dalokohs. Like, I've never been able to tank this much damage. Wishes was getting crazy amounts of heals with this setup. It was just amazing. For my melee slot in this game, I'm using the eviction notice, and I'm doing that for a few reasons. First of all, the gloves of running urgently, which is the default choice, would make me really vulnerable because I've got no secondary, and my primary takes so long to spin up that I don't want to be marked for death for any extended amount of time. So that's why the eviction notice is much lighter damage vulnerability is preferable over the gloves of running urgently. I mentioned that I was running out of ammo a ton, and this is sort of the reason why. Currently you have to pre-fire to get maximum damage. It ramps up over 1 second to full damage, so if you want to take out people as they pop into your view, you have to pre-fire. And so that meant that I was running out of ammo a lot, and it was a bit of an issue, and I was probably doing a little bit too much, but I really like to make sure that anyone that I see just dies immediately, like just delete them from existence basically, and the Brass Beast can definitely do that. I mean, Heavy already does, what, like around 500 DPS, so increase that by 20%. And that's a lot of damage. If the proposed changes in the balance update blog post that Valve made go through, you will only have to rev up to get maximum damage and accuracy instead of shooting, which is a nice change and a good quality of life change and a good buff to Heavy as well. But I mean, come on, I kind of like having this like secret tech where I can always beat other heavies by pre-firing around corners, and it's a little trick that I won't have to get an advantage over people anyway. And oh my god. Dropping in front of that much damage is not nice for anyone. You know that saying in pubs that no one gets on the payload until the last few seconds of the game? Well, that's what kind of happened for the pushing team here, but unfortunately, I have so much damage tanking potential, so much DPS. I mean, unless you got like a fully charged headshot or a backstab, you just can't take this heavy out, especially with the quick fix over. I mean, it just got ridiculous. And look at this damage. That That is disgusting. Like, that's not even with Kritzkrieg, although, saying that, I was getting laser beams all the time, as you saw, and just, you know, becoming sniper briefly and just killing people across the entire map, because that's fun and balanced for everyone. Starting a discussion and talking about and thinking about the Dalokohs Bar is actually super relevant right now. Again, going back to the balance update changes, I mean, I should probably just make a whole video talking about it, but the Dalokohs Bar might be really relevant in the future because of the changes to the gloves are running urgently and the eviction notice that are proposed. Instead of marking Heavy for death or making him take more damage, these weapons will slowly reduce his max health over time. This means that if Heavy wants to get to mid quickly, he's going to get there with less health than usual, which is a really nice balancing offset. But that being said, if you eat the Dalokohs Bar in setup time and you roll out with one of these speed weapons, you're going to get there without much really done to your health. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. That being said, this is all up in the air and totally theoretical. We don't know how any of these mechanics are really going to work. So it might not. Oh my god, that scout just tickling me from behind. This is pretty strong. I don't get to use stuff like this too often, but when I do, I like to make the most of it. We recorded a ton of footage for this, way more than we needed, just because it was so much fun and it was just so satisfying to clean house and clear out servers like this. Gotta thank Your Wishes for helping me out with this. He had some really on-point arrows in some of these sections as well that were doing a really good job to help me tank all this damage. Quick fix sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes you need to slip an arrow in there every now and then to really get the most damage tanking potential. Also, for half the game, he just had to call spy, 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 and I wouldn't turn around in time most of the time. In fact, here's a situation where I'm fighting, and he tells me to turn around and look behind because there's a soldier there. But it's like, what's more important, the soldier behind me or the Heavy in front? A pretty scary situation, but with this loadout and this combo, yeah, I can tank that, no problem. Oh man, this next clip is a total adventure. So we noticed that their respawn was getting here really, really quickly. So we pretty much figured they had a teleporter. You can see the little trail of teleporter particles coming from up top. And I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but here we have to go and get it. And that's pretty scary. When you're a Brass Beast Heavy and you rev up, although you can tank a lot of damage, you're very still. You can't really move too much. I was trying to abuse jump revving as much as I could, dolphin diving around like a Highlander Heavy. Although, I'm not sure any Highlander Heavies would choose to put on the Brass Beast. That being said, we had to take a dive into enemy territory, otherwise they were just going to completely overwhelm us with the rate at which their players were getting to the point. And oh my god, these mini sentries having to completely stop, completely drop everything that I was doing to take them out. Super annoying, but whatever, what are you going to do? So here I am running up these steps. See more and more players keep piling out of that teleporter. I have to rush up, push around the corner, rev again, and then players keep coming out of the teleporter as I'm doing this, but somehow we managed to get away with it. Wishes saving his own life in the process. Don't know how he managed to survive all that, and we get out with our lives, which I think was pretty heroic. Alright, now I mentioned that we were being hard counted by sentries. Here is the sentry stack on Blind Blitz, and I think we've all played against this, but this loadout can do nothing against it. The quick fix is incredible and can tank most things, but multiple sentries firing you at once, yeah, that's not gonna do it. So briefly we switched on over to Uber, but sure, the quick fix would have been able to ignore this knockback and that would have been great. There is no way we would have survived under all that fire, under fire from the demo man raining crit stickies, the 3 sentries, that Heavy revved up. Oh, it was awful. And here's another situation on Upward. They had a bunch of sentries up the top, and no matter what we did, we could not take them out. It just wasn't happening. This loadout can't do anything against it. And while you can watch me fail against taking out these sentries, it's pretty much it. This loadout was super fun, super strong, really enjoyed it. Thanks so much, Alex, for suggesting it. I had not thought of this at all. And I gotta say, I get a lot of amazing suggestions, and I feel really bad because a ton of them, most of them, I do not credit the person that suggested it. I'm so sorry about that. I really wish I could. I mean, I could, but I'm so bad when it comes to organization. All my notes are written over pieces of paper that get transferred over. It's so bad. So sorry to everyone that I haven't credited before. I'm going to try my best to do it from now on. I really appreciate it, though. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you right now. How about I catch you next time? See ya.